What do you know about Cleopatra? Everyone has heard about Egypt's famous queen, Cleopatra, but this video might just amaze you. Test your knowledge and prepare to be stunned by this huge collection of fun facts about Queen Cleopatra 7. Before the beginning, I invite you to like the video and subscribe to my channel, Pharaoh Dreams, and watch the video until the end and enjoy everything old and new. One, birth and death of a memorable queen. Cleopatra 7 was born 69 BC and committed suicide on August 30th, 30 BC. 2. Parents may have been half-sister/brother. Her father was Pharaoh Ptolemy XII. Her mother was probably Cleopatra V. Tryphonina. Some say the couple was related by more than marriage. 3. Name means she who comes from a glorious father. Cleopatra's name, pictured in hieroglyphics, is a combination of two Greek words, kleos, glory, and pater, father. Her full name was Cleopatra 7. 4. Claimed to be the goddess Isis. Cleopatra wasn't shy about making the most of her power on earth. She claimed to be the Egyptian goddess Isis come to life. Egyptians actually referred to her as the new Isis. 5. Cleopatra was not Egyptian. She was actually a Macedonian Greek. Although she was born in Egypt, her family, the Ptolemies, migrated to Egypt from Greece. 6. The first Ptolemaic ruler to speak Egyptian. Cleopatra was the first Ptolemaic ruler who learned to speak and write in Egyptian. For 300 years, her family spoke only Greek. 7. Not classically beautiful, yet irresistible. Plutarch wrote that her beauty, as we are told, was in itself neither altogether incomparable, nor such as to strike those who saw her. However, he described her as charming and irresistible, with a sweetness in the tones of her voice. 8. Spoke at least 9 languages. Cleopatra was an intellectual. She studied math, philosophy, public speaking, and astronomy. She also spoke at least 9 languages, and maybe as many as a dozen. Because of this, she could speak to generals and rulers of other countries without an interpreter, thus giving her an upper hand. 9. A very bad start. The first 3 years of her reign were tough, partly because when Cleopatra took over, the Nile flooding was low. Crops failed, people went hungry, less money was made, and politicians argued against her. Things were only going to get worse. 10. Cleopatra fought her brother to the death. In 50 BC, Cleopatra got stuck in a political fight between some Roman troops and a Syrian governor. Cleopatra sided with the Syrians. The Romans were so mad that they ended up helping her little brother Ptolemy VIII steal the throne from her. After losing the throne to her brother, Cleopatra refused to accept defeat. She drummed up mercenaries, formed a new army, and fought her brother's army on Egypt's eastern border at a spot called Pelusium. She won a later battle, and he was drowned. 11. May have murdered both brothers. According to rumor, Cleopatra may be responsible for causing both of her brothers' deaths. Some historians say the older one was drowned in the Nile River, while the other was poisoned later in her rule. Cleopatra even put an end to her own sister, Arsinoe, because she feared Arsinoe was plotting to take over the throne. Cleopatra had Arsinoe executed on the steps of a temple in Rome. 12. Cleopatra's escape after Caesar was killed. Cleopatra was living in Rome when her lover, Julius Caesar, was assassinated in 44 BC. Caesar was stabbed to death, and she was forced to escape Rome and return to Egypt. 13. Lovers, playmates, and political allies. Cleopatra and Mark Antony began a love affair in 41 BC. She hunted with him, drank with him, played games of dice with him, and when he performed military exercises, she came to watch. They stood together against Egypt's enemies, and they were married in Egyptian style, even though Antony was already married. 14. Twins named Sun and Moon. Cleopatra and Mark Antony had 3 children together, a set of twins named Alexander Helios, Sun, and Cleopatra Selene, moon. They had a third child, a son named Ptolemy Philadelphus, Ptolemy the brother-loving. 15. Rome attacks Egypt and Cleopatra. Octavian declared Mark Antony a traitor, and the Roman Senate declared war on Egypt. Cleopatra and Antony joined forces in order to fight Rome. It all culminated in a great naval battle at sea known as the Battle of Actium. Cleopatra personally commanded over a dozen Egyptian warships, while Antony commanded his own fleet. But the battle was a lost cause. Octavian's forces were much larger. Cleopatra and Mark Antony made a desperate break through enemy lines and raced back to Egypt. Octavian chased them to Alexandria, where Antony held his ground in hopes of victory. Unfortunately, Antony's forces were crushed. 16. Killed herself with snake poison. Cleopatra took her own life when she forced an ASP, Egyptian cobra, to bite her. When he heard Cleopatra killed herself, Mark Antony killed himself, too. 17. Her tomb has never been found. Did you know that for all her wondrous fame and glory, Cleopatra's tomb has never been found? Of course, that means her mummy has never been found either. 18. Were the lovers buried together? It's said that Antony and Cleopatra were buried in a secret place so that they'd remain together for eternity. Archaeologists continue the search for the couple's lost tomb. Some say it may be at a site near the Mediterranean Sea, beneath a temple to the god Osiris. 19. Cleopatra was not related to King Tut. Cleopatra and King Tut ruled as pharaohs of Egypt, but the relationship ended there. King Tut lived 1,300 years before Cleopatra. In comparison, the United States is less than 250 years old. Additionally, Cleopatra came from Macedonian Greek descent, while Pharaoh Tutankhamun was a native Egyptian. 20. Egypt's last pharaoh. Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of Egypt. She reigned with stunning glory and brought everlasting fame to her life and country. It's unfortunate to realize that after her death, Egypt's great dynasties fell away. The glorious country disappeared under the sandal of Rome, becoming a mere province of the great Roman Empire. 20 amazing, fascinating, and interesting facts about Egypt's last pharaoh and queen, the glorious Cleopatra. Finally, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully, you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye.